Yo, what's up? It's your host M.A. He's back with another new episode of the Heat Blog Spot today. What's up, guys? It's me, your host M.A. I don't know why I like to sing. I just like to sing, guys. It is what it is. Hope you guys like it too. But thanks for joining me. It's another new episode, and today's episode is all about the upcoming free agent class and the possibilities of who and whatever could happen. So we'll get into it. Thank you for joining me. Let's see what happens. All right. So again, guys, thank you again. Thank you so much. Please, whatever you're doing, whatever you're listening or watching, please follow, like, subscribe. It goes a long way. I really appreciate it. And if you can, leave a comment, share the posts, share the videos, share the pod. It's all good. I really appreciate all the help you guys give. So thank you very much. Now, what we're here for, right? We're here to talk about the Heat, of course. And what's the big thing that everyone talks about right after the NBA Finals conclude? And every year prior to this, we just go straight into the draft and then free agency and all this stuff. And this episode, I was thinking about making it a draft episode, but I still gotta do my homework about the draft. And if I have to be honest, we might not even hold on to this pick, because my next episode after this will be about trades that can possibly happen. So that pick can go into those trades possibly. But we'll get into it. We'll talk about it. But today's episode is all about free agents, our free agents, upcoming, free agents to be possibly this summer, this off season. It's not even summer, this winter. And just remember, guys, that this is all hypothetical, because I can't make any real decisions, just like anybody else in the media. So like whatever you're reading, listening, and anybody you guys follow, they don't know what the hell's going on either, because the NBA hasn't told or said anything about start dates and free agency dates and draft dates and all that stuff, and how money's going to work next year, and salary cap and all this other stuff that matters when it comes to these things. So, best thoughts here. And really, what this episode is going to be is about who I believe that it will be available, and who I think we can get, and who I believe will be able to help us the most. Because Pat Riley's looking at 2021. Like I said, there's two things that has been successful for Pat Riley and during his time in the Heat. One of them is making a big trade for Shaq, and that's why I feel like a trade will happen, and we'll see what happens. And then the second thing was he freed up enough cap space in one of the most important summers of all time and landed 3 superstars. We already had one. You just needed to sign 2 more, and we did it. So that's, it's going to be I feel like this off season is going to be a combination of those things, of people, Pat Riley, a combination of Pat Riley using both of his instincts and both of his past successes in Miami, and try to utilize them to create a winning team for next year to compete for another championship, while preserving salary cap for 2021. Now, does that mean we won't spend money if we can? Depends. It has to be the right player and everything like that. And I think the 2021 free agent class is so big and has so many names in it that Pat Riley's going to do everything he can to preserve as much money as possible for next season's, free agent class. So we'll see. But first of all, let's talk about Miami's potential free agents and free agents coming to be. First one, Goran Dragic, as we know. Luckily, Goran Dragic has already come out saying he has nothing but love for Miami and wants to stay in Miami and hopes to re-sign in Miami. And then it's been reported that Miami has mutual interest, and that will most likely give him a bloated contract, 1-year contract, maybe an option for the following year, 2021, just to thank him for his services, because he earned it, and allowing us to keep salary cap to go for another free agent the following year, if we need to, And if we don't, then we get at least have the option to bring Goran back, and it works out for everybody. So I strongly believe Goran Dragic will be back, bearing someone giving him a crazy contract, but I can't see someone giving a 34-year-old a big contract right now at his age, especially coming off a foot injury like that. And, we'll see. I mean, I have a lot of confidence that Goran Dragic will be back. So don't worry about that, guys. Now, Jay Crowder, who I really, really want to come back, unfortunately has announced that he is looking for security and he wants a long-term deal. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. That's his decision. He's a free agent. He's free to do that. We can't do anything but support what his decision is. And we'll see if Miami can work with him. Now, I can see Miami giving him a little, like maybe 2 to 3 years if we trade Andre Iguodala. And that trade will, and you see, like, it's hard to kind of do this episode separately, free agents and trading, but I'm going to try to, because I really don't want to talk about trading today. But I can see Jay Crowder coming back for the right price, and I'm thinking like between 10 and 12 mil, maybe less, maybe between 8 and 12 mil a year, just to like get him, to bring him back, and hopefully he's happy with that. But he proved a lot in this bubble, in this playoffs, that he's a really good player, and could be a very important piece to a team that brings a lot of versatility, and a lot of skills that he has. So I am worried a contender will give him a better offer and pay him. Now, luckily he's on the wrong side of 30, so maybe some teams will be worried to give him that money, but he's good enough and should be, asked enough from other teams about his interest joining them. So it's 50-50 for me. I think a lot of things have to happen for Jay Crowder to come back, even though I would love Jay Crowder to come back, because I think he embodies the Heat culture. He embodies what a Heat player is, and he just fit in so well along next to Jimmy and everybody that, we went to the finals with him, right? Him being our starting 4. So I know I don't mind if Jay Crowder comes back, but I hope. But you know what? To me, it's another player benefiting from Heat culture if he left and got money because he showed out. So, if anything, it's still good news for us, because it still shows free agents to be like, hey, if you come to Miami and you work hard, there's opportunity here for you to really grow and be something. So, whatever. Now, Derrick Jones Jr. is another free agent. I can't see him coming back. I think a non-playoff team like Atlanta, Cleveland, Detroit, somebody like that, Chicago, I can see them giving him a pretty good deal, between 5 and 7 mil a year, to go join the team, and with like 2 to 3 year contract. I could definitely see that, because he's a good defensive player. He's smart. He's not ball hogging. He knows his role. He listens. He be well coached, and he's hyper athletic. So. And he did start for Miami a couple of times and did very well when he started. When he did play, I think he played very well, as much as he can. And I think a team will give him a chance because he's very young. He's 22, 23. So definitely think Derrick Jones Jr. would not be back. And that's okay, because you know what? He earned that. He worked hard for us. He came big at moments for us. He won the slam dunk contest for us. And you can't ask for more, you really can't. So if he comes back, great. I would love him. I still think he will help us tremendously because of his long arms and his athleticism. And I think Spo knows how to use that when he needs to. And I think we need something like that once in a while. So if he comes back, great. If he doesn't, I respect it and hope nothing but the best for him. But I wouldn't get my hopes up on Derrick Jones Jr. coming back. Kelly Olynyk. He's a player option. So he can either come back or not. He has a player option for 12.2 mil. He's taking that option, guys. Like I said, nobody knows what's happening. No one knows how much money teams are going to have to spend. So that means potentially lower salaries for everybody. A lot of agents are warning their players, like, don't take the money now. Wait till the league gets better. Wait till COVID-19 goes away when the league has more money to spend and feels better to spend, feels confident they can spend money, and then you get your money. But some players are in different situations, so it's just going to depend on what players are, what agents are telling them, because some players have families and friends and have their own things that they need to take care of and their own needs, and money will help tremendously at the immediate moment. So they're not thinking about the future; they're just thinking about now. Kind of like Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder is thinking, "No, I need to be secured now. I'm not worried about what's going to happen later." You know what I mean? So it's just something you got to keep an eye on. But I think Kelly Olynyk comes back, and if he does opt into the contract to come back to the team, he could be used as a trade piece, you know. But I think he does enough though that if we didn't trade him, he justifies that contract for me. He does enough, and he's an X factor, which was he was an X factor a lot of times throughout the season and throughout the playoffs. And in the finals, you know, when you think about him coming in to because Bam was in trouble, he wasn't terrible. It's just a different skill set he brings than Bam. So people sometimes want the Bam stuff to continue, but Kelly O ain't Bam, so you can't expect that. But he can shoot the three. He's very smart offensively. He can box out a little bit. He can play defense a little bit. So, I mean, would I want to pay him $12.2 million? Probably not. You know, probably a little less than that, maybe 8. But you know, it's 1 year left. He's not terrible. He's not Dion Waiters on our on our team being a cancer in this locker room. So if he comes back, great. If we can trade him for a good piece, great. But yet either way, I think Kelly O. We'll see. And we'll talk about the trade episode. You'll see if we get keep Kelly O. No, but you know, for me, either way, Kelly can stay, and I hope he does in a sense because I do like his game when we need it. You know, it's not always needed, but when we need it, we need it. So, Myers Leonard, as much as I like this guy, I just think there's going to be too many other options for big guys, such as DeMarcus Cousins and Nerlens Noel and Aaron Baines, people like that, which I'm going to get into in a little bit. But there's so many more options that I don't think Myles Leonard will come back next year. I don't know. Solomon Hill, that's one, like, I think he loved the Heat culture. I think he would love to stay at the Heat, but I don't know if the Heat will want to bring him back just purely off talent and what he brings, like, depending on who we sign and who we draft and all that other stuff. And he'll be one of the last players we will take care of, if anything. He'll be one of the last players to get signed, if anything. So, and in the whole league, no matter if he comes back to Miami or not. So, like, I don't mind Solomon Hill being back, but if there's better options, which I'm sure that we're going to talk through right now in a little bit, then maybe we don't even need Solomon Hill back. So we'll see. It's up there in the air. And I mean, everybody else is either staying or I don't really care to talk about because they're not that important to me, or I don't think they're that important to the Heat's future and what we're building to talk about. But I'm pretty sure I've gone through all our free agents at this moment. Hopefully, if I haven't, let me know, hit me up, and we can talk about it one-on-one, or I'll bring it up in the next episode. Either way. But now, with that, sorry for moving the camera. Let's talk about who can possibly come to Miami. And I'm using an article that is published by slamonline.com. So just for reference, so you guys know, and you can find this online. So they broke it down by tiers, the free agents, which I really like, and I thought that would be easier to talk through them. So, and make it more easier for people to calm their expectations, to see the real picture, to see what can really happen. Like, is this really, a lot of people are getting excited. A lot of us as Heat fans, since LeBron came, and we usually, we got Shane Battier, we got Mike Miller, we got all these guys through the years via free agency that we feel so confident, like no matter who it is, we can get them. And that's not really necessarily the case all the time. So hopefully this kind of, brings you back to earth. And, we can have a healthy discussion about who can possibly really come to the Heat and who can possibly really come and help us compete for a championship and to get the deal done and beat the Lakers. So First tier. It's only two players in this tier. Pre-packaged superstar tier. Basically is the players who are coming and they can ball. Like you have no doubt in their mind that these guys are stars. Those two players are Anthony Davis and Brandon Ingram. Now, Brandon Ingram, you guys know how I feel. He's restricted anyways. He's staying in New Orleans. Don't even have to talk about that guy. Anthony Davis is the only player whose agent is telling him to opt out of his contract. That's it. Every other player's agent, I'm sure, is telling them, you better opt in because I don't know if that money's going to be there again. Maximize your money now. So, but Anthony Davis will get paid no matter what, and he get paid a whole lot more. So, and he's not leaving the Lakers after winning, though Anthony Davis would be perfect for the Heat next to Bam Adebayo. I mean, too perfect. Well, that's true dynasty if we were able to I can't imagine it, but if we were able to even get Anthony Davis some way somehow, the league's over. The league's over. But whatever. That's not going to happen. So those two guys, not coming. Not coming at all. Now, next tier. The established star tier. Now, these guys are older, but they still can ball. They're still being effective on their teams. People like their names, and they can make a difference. So let's go through them. DeMar DeRozan, player option. He's not letting go of that player option. I don't care what anyone says. He's not leaving. Andre Drummond, player option. No, he's not. He's not opting out because he's definitely gonna get a lower contract, and he needs to make sure he makes his money. Because him and like Hassan Whiteside, the big guys are dying, and they're not dying in a sense what their paychecks are dying, and they need to maximize when they can. So Andre Drummond would not be opting out to become a free agent this offseason. Gordon Hayward just got injured again. He's still coming back to rhythm. Who knows if he can ever be the same? Probably not, especially at his age. So he's keeping the money. He's staying in Celtics. And these three players, and I'm going to name one more, Mike Conley. He has an early termination option, so he can like opt out, basically, player option, out of his contract to leave the Jazz. But on the wrong side of 30, and he's on a good team with a young superstar that could give him a chance to win anyway. So why would he leave? He's not going to leave. And he makes he has one of the biggest contracts in the NBA. So he's definitely going to keep that money. And finally, those four guys I just mentioned, those are trade possibilities. Maybe. Do I see any of them possibly coming to the Heat? Maybe. Honestly. I mean, Mike Conley wouldn't be a bad thing for a one year tryout, and then his money comes off the books. Probably wouldn't be that bad, but he didn't play that great in the bubble, so we really don't know if he still has a lot of it in him. Gordon Hayward, we saw. Now, if we were the Celtics, who had three young players and only needed like a player like Gordon Hayward to come in and calm everybody down, I say we just go for Gordon Hayward, but we don't need that. We don't have that, so I don't think we need Gordon Hayward to trade for him. Andre Drummond, I already went through Hassan Whiteside once. I do not want to go through Hassan Whiteside twice. So I will stay away from Andre Drummond forever. And then DeMar DeRozan, the guy is not adapting to today's NBA. He's not a three-point shooter. He's not a high-volume shooter. And our team, when we're evolving to that as well, it's just not enough. And Jimmy Butler does what he does basically. So it just won't be a great mix of players. Now, the one player on this tier who I think we have a chance to sign, and I think we should for the right price, Danilo Gallinari. Now, we all know he was supposed to come, or he was with the Heat. We're trying to get him to come, but he wanted a long contract. He wanted to sign an extension to come to Miami, and the Heat were only willing to get him to pick up his option and then have a team similar to Andre Iguodala. Just have a team option for 2021, just in case we miss on everybody. At least we could bring back Danilo Gallinari and Andre, if anything. If worse comes to worse. We have a backup plan. Danilo Gallinari said no, but then he came out after the playoffs, after the finals, he came out saying that at his age, winning a ring is more important than the money right now. So what that tells me is, number one, he regrets not coming to Miami in that trade. So we'll see. I think there's number two. I think there's interest because of that. So we'll see if there's conversations. And then number three, it has to come down to money. And I could see us paying him like 15, 18 mil, depending on what we give Dragic, depending on if Kelly O picks up his option, a lot of things. But I think also Gallinari can see that the Heat are missing something, and he can provide some stuff that we're missing. And there's a role and a position in the starting lineup that he needs to be filled. We really need a stretch four big next to Bam, who can shoot and is tall and can provide a little bit more playmaking when Goran Dragic or Butler can't really do it, or Bam. So we just need another piece. And I love what Gallo can bring to us. So hopefully it's Gallo. I don't know, though. We'll see. But I'm hoping he could come. Now, emerging star tier. Now, these are two players who are young-ish, coming up, and have put up some big numbers in the playoffs and in regular season. But honestly, myself, because we're trying to preserve for 2021, and they don't necessarily have something that we really need right now, I don't think we're going to get them. So these two players are Fred VanVleet and Montrezl Harrell, and they both deserve money. They both deserve places where they can be highlighted, and I don't think Miami's that place for them. But if we can get them, cool. I think we'll find a way to use them, but it's a low probability chance that we're ever going to get these guys. So don't put your hopes up, please, on these guys. Now, the brimming with potential tier. It's like these three guys could become something, maybe lower tier all-stars like Chris Middleton. Yeah, Chris Middleton, lower tier all-star. I don't even know how the hell people consider you an all-star sometimes. But, or, a high-value role player guy. And these three guys is Davis Bertans, Christian Wood, and Malik Beasley. Now, Malik Beasley is restricted. So that the Minnesota Timberwolves have the rights to him, meaning they can match any offer to him. He had a great comeback couple of games when he got traded to them. So I don't see Minnesota letting him go, especially when they traded and lost people for him and assets. So Malik Beasley probably stays. Now, Christian Wood, who I think has a great skill set right next to Bam. Like, he can shoot, he can rebound, he can play defense. And I think the Heat culture will be great for Christian Wood. He will actually bring more out of him. But that potential is so high that a lot of teams see it. He did enough last year that there's going to be some lower tier team or some mid-tier team that gives him enough money, enough years that he's going to go over there. And the Heat won't be able to provide that or match that. So I don't really see it happening, though I will feel like he's a great fit. Now, Davis Bertans is the same situation, where he's a deadly three-pointer shooter that I think next to Bam will be, I mean, if we're able to get him and keep Duncan and keep Tyler, we can see some crazy three-point shooting next year in the Heat. But I think the Wizards are going to give him money, or someone's going to give him some money. A lower tier or a mid-tier team is going to give him money. These guys are young enough that they don't need to chase rings right now, or they don't have to chase rings. They can go take care of their own and get money and pay for their families, stuff and everything like that. So there's nothing wrong with that either. So would these guys make a difference on our team? Hell yeah, 100%. Are we gonna get them? Nah, we're not gonna get them. So now this is the category where I might be a while here. The proven impact player tier. And these guys are veterans who have been in the league for a while, maybe some more than others, and have made a name for themselves. And we know what they bring. And let's see. So I'm gonna go through the player options first. Jeremy Grant, player option. He's one. Well, you know what? Next to Anthony Davis, Jeremy Grant is a player that can opt out of his contract and make more money. Now, the Heat have been linked to him to show interest, but that doesn't mean we're gonna get him, guys. Like, it has to work out I think Jeremy Grant comes only if Kelly O declines and and he's willing to come on like a 3-year deal with a player option or something or team option somewhere in the line of that deal. I just I think it's too much though, and I think the Nuggets. He's on a good team with the Nuggets already, so I can see him just staying put in Denver, or I can see another team throwing money at him. Honestly, so I don't know. As much as I like Jeremy Grant, I don't think he's gonna come, and I think he'll be another player that'll be perfect next to Bam. But you know, and heat culture, honestly. But I don't see it happening, guys. Unfortunately. Now, the next player, Evan Fournier, he's in the opt-in now. Uh, I worked for the Magic. I've met Evan Fournier. He's a pretty cool guy. He liked my Assassin's Creed tattoo, which is pretty cool. And but like at his point in his career, he's on the right side of 30. He's in the 20s still, but I think he makes his money now. Get this last year in with the Magic. Try to. He's gonna probably have a good year because it's gonna be his free agent year. So I'm gonna give you some fantasy help. If you can pick up Evan Fournier, please go do it because he's gonna try to ball out this year. Um, but you know, it's just something we don't need. Unless we trade Tyler Hero and Kendrick Nunn and all these guys, we don't need Evan Fournier. Otto Porter Jr., who I actually like. He's like a Jay Crowder type. He will be a good player on this team, but his contract's way too big. He's making like in the 20s, and his player option, and he's not going to opt out of that. Like he'd be stupid to opt out of that contract, honestly. And then the last one, Bogdan Bogdanovic, which is he plays for the Kings. Really good player. I like him as a young player, young European guy. He's tough. Reminds me of Petrovic and Peja and all. Like he's like a mix of a bunch of wing European players that come throughout the years in the NBA. This goes back to like that left shrimp stuff. And if you guys don't know who I'm talking about, please go look these guys up because these are legends still. These are guys that can ball. These are Europeans that were making the making the NBA go scout in Europe, like really go scout. And that's why we have so many international players now at today's league, where every team has an international player basically. These guys, these old, these legends, I must say, they're good. So go watch them. Go watch them. They're really fun to watch. Now, who do I think we're gonna get out of this? Well, at least who I want. Number one, Serge Ibaka. Serge Ibaka. Oh my God, guys, I want Serge Ibaka next to Bam so bad, it hurts. It hurts, but it has to be for the right price, because he just needs to do what he did with the Raptors in 2019 and even last year, because he was a great addition. He was coming off the bench scoring 20 points, getting rebounds, getting blocks, and I was like, man, this guy is still doing it at his age, and he's not even that old. He's like early 30s, I believe, 30, 31 or something like that. And he's 6'11", strong, big, can jump, can block, high IQ and defense. Has gotten a lot better at shooting. Like, I really like Serge Ibaka's game, and as a complementary role player, he's never going to be the guy on the team, but next to Bam, that's useful right there. Bam to take more chances on defense. Bam has a shooter on the corners now, or on the top, wing, mid, up in the corner three, and it's a lot of things that I feel like Serge Ibaka would be great. Now the price is where I'm worried. Do I see us being able to get Serge Ibaka? My heart says no, because I think someone is going to give him money again. Like, I don't know. We're so strapped for cash, blah blah blah. That it's hard to see me actually getting these type of big players that can help us. But is it out of the realm of possibility? No. I think Serge will look around in the league, and if the Heat can make a nice pitch to him, and the Heat want him, I think we can convince him to come. I mean, he speaks Spanish. He plays for the Spain team, so he knows how to speak Spanish, and I think Miami will be great. He loves food. He has his own cooking channel, YouTube channel, where he cooks and invites NBA players to come and eat his food, and it's funny because he cooks some crazy stuff. I mean, he's from Africa, even though he plays for Spain, and it's funny. It's just funny to watch, and it'll be I think it'll be awesome. Like I think he embodies Heat culture, and he's coming from the Raptors, who is a very good organization as well. So I would love Serge Ibaka. He's on my wish list. Uh, Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson is I think he's a great offensive player. Honestly, I really do think he's a great offensive player. But there's no need for him on our team unless we trade Kendrick Nunn, unless we trade Tyler Hero, unless we trade Duncan Robinson, unless Goran Dragic does not come back for some reason. We should get him. Goran Dragic is on this list. I already told you how I felt about Goran Dragic. We should definitely sign him. Easy. Carmelo Anthony. This one, I kind of want Melo on the team because he can play the four now. He can rebound a little bit, but he's just not great on defense. But I know what, for some reason, I just feel like if he started, he can do enough. But you know what it is? If we get Melo, we really need a good backup big, and maybe that's Kelly O and somebody else. But I mean, I don't think Melo will be terrible on our team, honestly. Yeah, he fit in. He was really a good role player, and he was a good locker room guy in Portland. I thought he did a great job. I had him on my fantasy team. There was nights I was looking at the stats going like, damn, like Melo really, he lost it a little bit because whatever, he's getting older, but the guy can still ball. He can still hit threes. He can still get rebounds. He can still make clutch shots. So I don't think it's a bad idea. It's just more options for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just more options for us in clutch moments and in grind time, that we have a player with veteran experience who's hit clutch shots, who has the mentality to go out there and focus when we need him the most. So I think Melo will be a great addition, though. I guess the other worry is, can he play in Heat culture? Can he do what Heat culture is? I don't know, but on his Instagram and on Twitter and everything, he looks like he's working every day. So maybe he can. Maybe he can. And I wouldn't hate a Melo to Miami move. I wouldn't. Now, Aaron Baines, I like this guy a lot. You guys like Myles Leonard? You'll love Aaron Baines, because I think Aaron Baines is like the better version of Myles Leonard. He's a really good shooter. He's a really good rebounder. He's really big. He knows how to block, play defense. I loved him on the Celtics. I thought he was great for the Celtics. I thought he was great for Phoenix. I had him on my fantasy team for a little bit as well. And I guess my fantasy guys are the ones I want right now. But I think he will be a great piece next to Bam. Honestly, he could be a starter. He can play the Myles Leonard minutes he played during the year and during the starting years. Start the first quarter, start the third quarter, maybe play sporadically here and there. But those are your two top times you're going to be playing. I think he will thrive. I think he really would thrive, and I think the Heat will be good. And he sets good picks. He's big, and has longer arms than Myles Leonard. So Aaron Baines for the right price, I would love for the Heat, and I think it's possible. I don't think he's going to ask for much money. I think we can use a mid-level exception on him, if anything. So I don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if Aaron Baines does end up in the Heat. Though I can see other teams expressing interest. The Celtics will want him again because they need size. We proved that. And other teams. There's so many other teams will want him. So, and I like having international players from Australia. So I think that just helps with the Miami thing. Just having a bunch of different diverse international people is pretty cool. Derek Favors is another player which I like, but he can't shoot. And having Bam on the team, that ain't going to work. So I really don't want Derek Favors on this team. Next, Marc Gasol. If Marc Gasol was just younger, I would make a push for Marc Gasol in free agency. But because Marc Gasol is over 36 now, and he's just not moving the same. I saw him. He's being a very inefficient, and I just think he's probably checked out. He didn't look zoned. He didn't look zoned, and he didn't look in. He didn't look like he was prepared, or trying to find the right word. I'm sorry. He just didn't look like he was engaged with the Raptors last year in the playoffs, or this past playoffs, this past bubble. When I was watching those Celtics Raptors games, I just felt like Marc Gasol was a shell of himself, just a real little shell of himself, and as much as how great he is as a champion, and I think he has a great skill set, For the right price, if he plays the Myers Leonard minutes, I think he'll be a fine addition. But if it's going to cost too much, I don't think it's worth it. But I think he's from Spain. He speaks Spanish. I think there'll be a lot of interest there. But it has to be for the right price. But I have no doubt that he will be able to help in some way, form, or fashion. Not sure how much, but he will be able to be an addition to our team that can help us make a little noise. I do believe that. Now, next tier, elite role player tier. And I'll just do the player options is Tim Hardaway Jr. He's not opting out. And Dar Saric is restricted. And I can see Phoenix keeping him or matching. And then, so let's go. Joe Harris. Joe Harris, I like a lot. But he's going to get paid. But I think we should pay him if we trade Duncan or Tyler or Kendrick or two out of the three of those guys. If we trade two of the three of those guys with Iggy or Kelly, we'll have money to sign Joe Harris. And I believe strongly we got to get Joe Harris, because Joe Harris will do the Wayne Ellington, Duncan Robinson role. Just coming off screens, coming off picks, and catching and shooting, screening and shooting, whatever the case may be. Just go out there and shoot the damn ball as much as you can, as much as you want, and make sure you make it. And I think he's a great shooter, and he's smart offensively. He can make layups. I saw him on Team USA, saw him in games. He doesn't just not do shooting. Like, he's actually a pretty good, well-rounded offensive player, I believe, in my eyes. Not a great offensive player, but well-rounded offensive player that I think he would be a great help on our team. Of course, we're going to need that help if need be. But right now, do we need him? No. But we could need him if the Heat make a trade. Now, Marcus Morris, I really do like Marcus Morris. I like Marcus Morris next to Bam in the starting forward position. But he made $19 million last year, $20 million with the Knicks. And I think he's going to try to get something close to that again. I don't think he's going to stay with the Clippers. I'm pretty sure that things are sour there, so can't really see it. Now, Paul Millsap. I like Paul Millsap. I don't think he was terrible for the Nuggets at all last year. I think he was pretty good. But he's just not Paul Millsap that we need, I think. Like, he's a veteran presence. Like, I think Goran Dragic at the same age brings more than Paul Millsap is bringing at his age. So, as a last resort, if we have no money and we need to make a move and we need an impactful player that can make a little bit of a difference, Paul Millsap could be that guy, but I will not do it. Now, the last player on this list is Dwight Howard. Fuck Dwight Howard. Sorry for cursing. I do not want Dwight Howard on this team. So, no. Please don't get Dwight. I don't care. I'm not having these conversations. Now, the repurposed veteran tier, which is like, these are guys that were in teams and they just need to get the fuck out of there, because it's just not working out for them. Now, Austin Rivers has a player option. I see him signing back in. And it's Cantor as a player option. I see him going back. And Bobby Portis has a team option, and I really don't know what the Knicks are going to do with that team, with this guy. But either way, all three of those guys I don't want in our team, so I don't care. Now, Tristan Thompson, unrestricted. Now, this is all unrestricted people I'm going to talk about. Tristan Thompson, I do like, but we have Bam. We don't need Tristan Thompson unless he wants to take a veteran minimum and come off the bench. All day, I'll take Tristan Thompson all day for that. But if he ain't going to accept that, then no, we don't need him. DeMarcus Cousins. To me, DeMarcus Cousins will end up like Greg Oden. If you remember, we signed Greg Oden 2014 with the LeBron's last year with us, and we're trying to bring him back and have a little bit of a renaissance project. And like Greg Oden's back, like he was hurt, but now he's back. And look at him, but it just didn't work out. He couldn't do it. He couldn't stay on the floor. He was fouling left and right. He just wasn't the same. And I think DeMarcus Cousins is going to be the same way, unfortunately. The way he hurt it, he tore his ACL was non-contact. Like, no one touched him. So that means his body just stopped. Like, his body just couldn't go anymore. So, for the right price. I think the same thing with Tristan Thompson. You know what? All these guys, I'm going to say, if we can sign up for the minimum, then it's fine. If we can't sign him for the minimum, I don't think we should do it. So DeMarcus Cousins, we should if he's a minimum. Next, Isaiah Thomas, which I think will be a great addition because he could provide scoring off the bench when we need it. But he's tiny, very, very, very vulnerable on defense. Like Kendrick Nunn vulnerable, but worse because he's so tiny that it will have to be a specialist type role for him. Like you're going to come in and because we need like 15 points right now. So please come in and score 15 points for us right now. And then we're going to take you out because you can't guard anybody. Basically. Jeff Teague, same way, which I think Jeff Teague's a great veteran. He could calm down the team. He's been in good playoff positions in games and everything like that. That he will be a great addition, but it has to be like for a veteran minimum. That's it. But I would not be sour at Jeff Teague coming to the Miami Heat. I think he can fit in very well and play very well. The last player on this list is Hassan Whiteside. Does anybody want to go through the Hassan Whiteside thing again? I didn't think so. All right, move on. All right. Now it's a couple more tiers here, and I'm gonna try to just like power through this now a little bit faster. So let's see. High ceiling rotation piece tier, and here I don't think we should get anybody. It's DeAnthony Melton, Harry Giles, Jacob Poeltl, and I can't even pronounce this. Siv Mikhailiuk. Oh God, I don't know. But either way, I don't sign any of these guys, honestly, guys. The veteran support tier, Jay Crowder, we already spoke about. Nerlens Noel, with Bam, we don't need Nerlens Noel. DJ Augustine, I don't mind DJ Augustine like Jeff Teague as long as it's for a veteran minimum. I think he can play, he can shoot the ball, he knows how to run an offense. He's been a starter for a couple of years now. And he had that big game against Toronto a couple years ago in the playoffs to win their only game. So, you know what? DJ Augustine wouldn't be a bad addition to the Heat. Mason Plumlee, I think he wouldn't be another bad addition if he's like our energy big guy that, but we do have Chris Silva. So I don't know about that. Maybe if you lose Chris Silva, I won't mind Mason Plumlee, but we'll see. Nicholas Batum with a player option, he ain't leaving that money on the floor, in the door, man. He's taking that money. Reggie Jackson, I do not want Reggie Jackson. So I don't care if anyone tells me Reggie Jackson should come to the Heat. No. Did you guys see the playoffs? Did you guys see his career? Just watch his career. No, don't bring Reggie Jackson to Miami. Kyle Korver, I don't even know if he's gonna play again, honestly. So let's not talk about that. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist can't shoot for nothing, so let's not talk about that. Avery Bradley, player option. Is he really gonna opt out of playing for the Lakers and possibly winning another championship? No, he's not. So, no. Which I'm sure he's probably like feeling a little shitty about because he didn't go show up for work. I'm sure he had his reasons, but whatever. He's still getting a ring. The mystery value tier. So this is like the tier where who knows what you're gonna get if you sign him. Rodney Hood, player option. He has a player option, guys. He's not leaving. He just messed up his Achilles. Kenrich Williams, restricted. He ain't leaving. This is the only one that I think we should give a look at. Well, actually, two players we should look at. Josh Jackson. If you guys know, he's a lottery pick a couple of years ago, and then he got shunned from Phoenix. Memphis got him with a trade. They sent him to the G League. He did really well in the G League. They brought him up for a couple of games this year, and he didn't do that bad. From a potential standpoint, and because of Heat culture, I think we can make Josh Jackson something. And he has enough talent to become something. So we'll see. So I wouldn't mind Josh Jackson. Moving forward, Javon Carter, which I do like. I think he has Heat DNA all over him, but he's restricted. Juan Hernan-Gomez, restricted. Mara Hazonia, player option, staying. Chris Boucher, restricted, staying. Now, Rondé Hollis-Jefferson. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson is the type of player that needs Heat culture to be successful in the league, honestly. He can be. I think he's the type of high energy, smart defensive player, knows his role on offense type, and he can get offensive rebounds and hit tip-ins and stuff like that. That he will be a great energy bench dude off the bench for us, for the Heat. Do I see us getting him? No. I think the team will give him some money, but should we go after him? definitely, if we can get him for the veteran minimum or a small little tiny couple mil, I would not mind Rondé Hollis Jefferson. Honestly, I think he brings enough intangibles that Spoelstra can utilize him very well. Alonzo Trier, I think he's going to try to go to a team without any playoff experience and with a very, very bad guard rotation, so then he can come up. Even though that's what they had in the Knicks, but the Knicks is a whole different story of an organization. Um, but I can see him going to a team like the Bulls or something, or the Pistons, where they will use his talents. Like he won't be shunned. So we'll see. And even though I think we have too many young guards right now at the moment that we don't really need Alonzo Trier. Chandler Parsons, I'm not getting near that because that guy has a whole bunch of problems. He likes women too much. It's a right to like women, it's a right to love women and everything. But when you're getting paid millions to go to work and you're not working because you're doing drugs and you're partying and doing all this other stuff, and you just had a great big contract and you let it go to waste, and then you got hurt and then you kept looking like nothing. Like, I don't think anyone should be thinking Chandler Parsons is a savior or should come to the Heat to make a difference. Like, it ain't gonna happen, guys, unfortunately. Now the veteran reinforcement tier. And these are all guys who I feel we have the most luck of getting. Like most of these guys we could be in the running for and easily get. Andre Roberson, honestly, in those bubble preseason games, like the fake bubble games, the workout, the scrimmage ones, he actually didn't look bad. But when it came to the real games, he couldn't keep up. So I think he might be done. Alec Burks, he's a great offensive player. I think he's a great bench player for a bunch of people. But I don't think the Heat are going to sign. Again, guards, I don't think we're going to sign. Langston Galloway, I don't think we're going to sign. Just because he's too small and he's just strictly offense. JaVale McGee, player option, he ain't leaving the Lakers. Michael Carter-Williams, I hate that guy. He can't shoot for shit. Sorry for cursing again. And I would not want him. Kent Bazemore, I like Kent Bazemore. He can shoot the three. He can play a little bit of defense. He's not a bad dribbler. So for like a wing reinforcement type of player, like if we lose DJ and we get Kent Bazemore, that's not bad. Same thing with Markieff Morris, the other Morris brother. He's the one that played for the Lakers, so he won the championship. But like he didn't play that much, but he played enough, and I think like he's big enough and smart enough and does enough of the little things that he can be a good player next to Bam. I think he could fit very well next to Bam and off the bench for us. So I wouldn't mind Markieff Morris coming. Matthew Dellavedova. As much as I didn't like his antics in the finals in 2015 or 2016, whatever it was, I like Matthew Dellavedova's game because he's just a hard worker, and that's like Heat culture right there. And I think he can fit it well. I think Spo will be able to use him, but I think his shortcomings, athleticism, stuff like that, will just keep him to the bench, and we might not have a roster spot for that if we have UD come back. So as much as I like Matthew Dellavedova and he's a great insurance guy on the point guard position, I just don't see it happening. KCP, I don't want KCP after what he did to us in the Lakers, so fuck you, KCP. Sorry for cursing again. Trying. All right, Mo Harkless. I like Mo Harkless a lot. I would like Mo Harkless to be back. Would like Mo Harkless to come to the Heat. Sorry. I think he's a good 3-and-D guy. He knows what he won't get in the way of our stuff. I think he can. He's a Jay Crowder replacement if we can't get Jay Crowder. I think he'll be a very good low-level replacement of Mo Harkless. Or maybe the Heat culture will bring a lot more out of him, and he can bring a lot of what Jay Crowder brought, because I think he can. He could guard multiple positions. He can hit the three. He could rebound a little bit. So I would not be opposed to a Mo Harkless signing. Pat Connaughton, I see him staying in the Bucks for some reason. I just don't like his game. Like, I just don't think he's that good or anything. So, sorry. Marco Bellinelli, which he thinks is a sniper, but he's getting old. He didn't look good last year with the Spurs. We had plenty of times, opportunities to shoot and look, just getting his numbers up, but it just wasn't happening. So, if you can't do it on that team, I don't know if you can keep doing it anymore. Frank Kaminsky, team option. Probably staying. We'll see. But I don't think the Heat need him, and he's just not good enough on defense for the Heat. Myers Leonard we talked about. Justin Holiday. I like Justin Holiday a lot, just like Kent Bazemore. I think he's a very good shooter. Can play a little bit of defense. Is a good team guy to have around. Especially if we, like I said, if we trade Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, Kendrick Nunn, a combination of those players for somebody else, a name. Justin Holiday, Kent Bazemore, guys like this, Mo Harkless, these guys wouldn't be bad replacements. Like these are guys are veterans. They've been in positions before. They've made some money already. They'll be ready to get a championship. So I think those guys right there will be great additions to the Heat. So I like this tier a lot. The low risk gamble tier. Chris Dunn restricted. Who knows what the Bulls are going to do with him, but I don't care. Rajon Rondo says he might opt out of his contract, but if he comes to Heat, no. Evan Turner just can't shoot, so no. Torrey Craig can't shoot, so no. Thon Maker restricted, he's not coming. Stanley Johnson restricted. He's just small. He doesn't do enough. Bryn Forbes, who played for the Spurs last year, he's a guard for the Spurs, and he's a good shooter. I think if there is for the right price, if he just comes and if there's no market for him and he just needs to come to a team and he ends up coming to the Heat, I think that would be a great point guard type help. And he can shoot. I mean, he can shoot lights out, honestly. I think he can shoot very well. So it wouldn't be bad, but it had to be for just the minimum. Like minimum 1 year, it is what it is. Jonah Bowden, don't know who that is, so don't care. Dragan Bender. There was so much hype for this kid, but he didn't do anything. He hasn't been done anything in his whole career, so I don't even know if anyone picks him up next year, honestly. So no. The dormant game changer tier. And I guess these are just players where maybe they make a difference or maybe they don't. Just it's up to whatever happens. Shabazz Napier, which we drafted years ago, and he's just too small, and I don't think we sign Shabazz. I don't even think he comes back to the Heat. Cameron Payne, team option. I mean, I don't like Cameron Payne. I think he's too much of a drama queen for me. Jakar Sampson, which I did like what I saw in the Indiana Pacers series with us. So honestly, I wouldn't mind Jakar Sampson. I like that move. Anthony Tolliver, I like. Marvin Williams. If only UD is not coming back, then I'll get Marvin Williams. Raul Neto. He's not bad. He wouldn't be a bad point guard insurance piece for us, honestly. Mike Muscala, Garrett Temple, maybe Garrett Temple, but as a team options, I can see him signing back. Wesley Matthews, player option, but I can see him going back to the Bucks. Bismack Biyombo, no. Brandon Knight, no. Even though he would love to come to Miami because he's a Miami kid. But he can't shoot. He's just very bad at shooting efficiently. Robin Lopez, no. JJ Barrera, I know all the PR guys would love this guy to come to Miami, but he's just old right now at this moment. He's too short, and he just won't be enough. It just won't be enough. Iman Shumpert, he's getting chances to prove what he can play, but he just can't prove that he plays. So I don't think Iman Shumpert will be an answer for any of us. Now, the depth on depth tier, and I think this is just like, like a tier that these guys can be somewhat of a factor throughout the year for you. And it's quite a few names, so we're going to go through them real quick. Gary Payton II, I like this kid. I think he can be a great backup point guard to us. He just can't play offense, but he has great Heat defense. So, and he's smart, and he's Gary Payton's son. So, Gary Payton II. So, we'll see. Emmanuel Mudiay, I don't think he's a Heat guy. I don't think we should take him. J. Michael Green, player option. Again, I don't see him leaving, but if he did leave and we can get him, he's not a bad pickup. J. Michael Green. DeMar Carroll, he's done. Jeff Green, maybe. Maybe for the right price and for the right role. Dwayne Bacon, no, because he's restricted. Wilson Chandler, no, because he proved that he really can't do anything. Chris Chioza, too small. Glenn Robinson the third, maybe if we don't get signed DJ and Glenn Robinson the third is there, we can just expect the same stuff from that DJ did with Glenn Robinson the third. Wes Iwundu, which is restricted, he's not coming. Trevin Graham, no. David Nabra, can't shoot. Welland Gabriel didn't do enough for me to justify. CJ Miles, you're old and you can't shoot anymore. Dion Waiters, we already know what we're getting from that. James Johnson, he is not leaving that money on the table. Etwan Moore, you just left the radar, bro. You haven't come back, so no. I already told you about Solomon Hill. Isaiah Hartenstein, who? Tim Frazier, no. So those guys, no. The scraping of opportunities tier, and I think this is the last tier. Yeah, this is the last tier, guys. So, Damian Dotson, no. Scal Labrisi, no. DeAndre Dembry, no. All because they're restricted free agents, so no. Ian Mahimi, hell no. Corey Brewer, no. Too old now. Yogi Ferrell, too short. Caleb Swanigan, Kyle Quinn, only if UD doesn't come back. Hamidou Diallo, team option. He's not coming. Patrick Patterson, no. Willie Hernan-Gomez, no. Denzel Valentine and Shaquille Harrison, restricted free agents, no. Bruno Capclo, whatever, no. Elise Johnson, no. Noah Vonleh, no. John Henson, no. Frank Mason, no. Jahil Okafor, maybe. For a minimum contract, and it's to test it out. Something similar to the DeMarcus Cousins. Hey, maybe we can make this guy something that no one could have. But he would definitely be a bench guy for us. He would not be starting. Frank Johnson, restricted. Sterling Brown, restricted. Tyler Johnson, I could see a TJ reunion, honestly, guys. If Tyler won't only come for cheap, I could see Tyler Johnson come back. He wouldn't be bad for the locker room. And then Kadeem Allen, which to me is too short. So, guys, that's basically who I think. Now, if you guys realized, I think the best one I think we should get out of this whole free agent to see that can come up is Serge Ibaka. I think Serge Ibaka would be the perfect complement next to Bam. And he brings championship experience. He's been to the finals multiple times with different teams. I think he's our biggest hope that we can get will be Serge Ibaka. But if we're going to get him, no. Aaron Baines is another one who I hope we kind of could fight for and possibly get. And that's it, And Gallinari. Those are the top three for me. Gallo, Serge Ibaka, and Aaron Baines, for me, I think will be the best players to try to get for 1 year, maybe a big contract. Maybe not for Aaron Baines, but for Gallo and Serge, just to try it out. And you never know. I think those guys will fit so well in the Heat culture, though, and next to Bam, that it'll bring another level out of us. So that's who I think. Let me know who you guys think, though. It's start a conversation. That's the whole reason why I'm doing this. Start a conversation. So let me know. Hit me up. It's all good. I know this was a long episode. I honestly did not think it was going to be this long of an episode. I was like, damn, this is probably going to be 20 minutes tops and end up being an hour. But thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking with me. I appreciate it, guys. Again, whatever you're listening on, whatever you're watching, please hit follow, like, subscribe. I appreciate that. If you can, leave a comment on there. If you can, share it. It's all good. I appreciate all the help, everybody. Hit me up on Facebook or Twitter at HeatBlogspot. Email me, heatblogspot@gmail.com. It's all good, guys. Let me know who you think the Heat should sign or who we should re-sign. All that good stuff. I love these conversations. I appreciate it. We're here, guys. Off season. Let's just wait till the NBA tells us when to go, and we'll be ready to go. So don't forget. Let me know. But peace out, everybody. Deuces. Have a great day. Thanks again. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, M.A.